2-1 rather, to play against Phantom in the next round. Meanwhile, we go to the match we alluded to a little bit earlier, which is going to be Mimik up against Yellow. Mimik, as mentioned, is on the Kazuya, and Yellow could be on the Fox. I think for this matchup, he might be on the Luigi, but we'll have to see which one is suiting the Kansas/Philadelphia player in this moment.
I think, wow, is Mimik wearing a, is that a, like, Hunter x Hunter shirt? I can't
It
tell.
might be.
It does look sort of like Hunter x Hunter, like Kurapika's eyes with the chains. But I might just be reading in too much.
I've never seen Hunter x Hunter.
Okay.
So I'm not the person to try and like maybe.
Okay. Maybe we'll find out later.
PT.
Anyways. Oh, okay. That's different. But okay. We'll see how that goes.
Hey, I am all for having multiple characters in this game. I think there's very few that are solo viable. From a pure like bracket matchup chart standpoint, of course, if you're going to try and solo spec into a singular character, Luigi's actually a pretty good one, because at the end of the day, it doesn't really feel like Luigi cares about matchups. He just needs to hit you, and with a specific option. Typically that's grab. It could also be Zair, up tilt, rising forward air, or falling back air, or landing up air, or a million of other tools that confirm into his absolutely devastating combo game.
For sure, although I think that some of the characters in the Pokemon Trainer arsenal are also very good brawlers that can sort of punish that out. I think, but the Charizard switch, excellent choice right there from Mimik, able to take that stock pretty quickly, switching back to the Ivysaur in order to sort of challenge some of Yellow Salami's options right now with Luigi.
Yeah, sticking away from the Squirtle, it makes a ton of sense. You don't want to play a very light, scrappier character. What you want is to keep Luigi as far away from you as possible, and Ivysaur does that absolutely the best.
For sure. I think it's a character such as Ivysaur has so many more options, but getting Luigi to these higher percentages, that is going to be a character such as Charizard who is going to go for that. Finding himself getting grabbed, however, and then the Cyclone not going to take the stock just yet. Able to recover back to stage, but finding himself in shield, and that is going to spell the end of Mimik's stock.
Yeah, Yellow is perfectly content to be grabbed there. Like, absolutely did not care about taking a Charizard grab at 90-some%. Was expecting Mimik to go for a call out, and he absolutely did with the up smash, getting up smash for his troubles. And now, I mean, the game's even. Like, Rage can throw off Luigi's combos just a little bit, but honestly, it might not matter against the proper opponent with the proper combo tree, and that's what Yellow is looking for. He's distinctly not throwing fireballs in order to force Ivysaur out of any percent windows or percent ranges, and thus Mimik is playing off these platforms, as you should be, almost getting the call out on the switch, but it stalls him in midair.
Precisely, and now Yellow Salami still playing the heavier character and finding himself at a percentage to be grabbed, however able to make it out of a potentially dangerous combo. Finding himself avoiding the fairs. I like his usage of his spacing in order to avoid, or not the fairs, rather, the Zairs. But that was an excellent upbeat call out right there from Yellow Salami.
Got the fly online. Mimik doing a solid job of keeping things intact thus far. Holding a lead matters so much against characters like Luigi, because as soon as this stock drops, you are back on thin ice. Oh, the Nair missing the super jump punch. That's crazy.
I think
that would have evened the game up.
Oh man, I mean, that's unfortunate to see for someone like Yellow Salami. However, Mimik, I think, made the proper choice to switch characters there, and that may have been what upset the rhythm of Yellow Salami. Yellow Salami finding himself off stage right now versus Mimik's Charizard, able to make it back. However, the Charizard just going for whatever he possibly can, looking for his nairs, but not able to make much off of it. But finding himself on the upper platforms in order to avoid a lot of the spacing Zairs from Yellow Salami.
Yeah, and
All
that's
right,
what
yeah, that's stock.
Yeah, it's hard to play platforms at 145 because Luigi back air is still a very, very solid button, even if it's the only one that could potentially take you out from center stage. He wanted to land, got grabbed for it though. It happens, and at 97%, you've done the job already. All you need is that air dodge. And Luigi
Mhm.
in midair, a sitting duck. Because you're playing, granted, a three-way mix-up, but two of those options are still covered by exactly the same thing, which Mimik showed off there, patience. Luigi in those mid-air, like juggle scenarios, can either play offensive, play dangerously offensive with a Cyclone or a Nair, air dodge, or just do nothing and try to land. And all three of those, two of those, three of those options are beaten by playing patient and anticipating the reaction, especially since the jump was already burned. Easy enough stuff there for Mimic, and enough to switch over to the Fox for game number 2. Makes a ton of sense here. Fox does a whole lot better at attacking all three Pokemon where they are their weakest, which is not only in their general airspeed, but also their ledge play. It's really hard for all three Pokemon to make it off the ledge, and Fox is ready, able, and willing to find a dash attack or grab or nair or anything in between. And if you commit to anything in the wrong spacing or wrong timing, that's an up smash, and that's instantly a lead for Yellow.
Absolutely. Now, I think where Mimic is going to want to sort of combat some of the strengths of Fox is definitely going to be in edge guarding. However, that's not going to be easy right there for Mimic when he is the one in disadvantage. However, he needs to be able to get Yellow Salami off stage in order to find these options in order to edge guard Fox's pretty readable recovery. Oh, but that side B, I don't exactly know if that was looks like not
Ooh.
the read that he wanted. However, that up air going to take a stock now, just about almost evening things up right now for Mimic.
Again, those early stocks need to be ready and able to be there for Mimic if he's going to be trying to take this game off the Fox, because the amount of swarming that Fox can do is devastating. Vortex is certainly real, but Yellow not far behind. That grab was pretty clutch, but a little bit too low percent to get any of the Charizard shenanigans off a back throw. Ooh, that's tough.
Yeah. Unfortunate to lose your stock like that at center stage, especially when playing such an ultra heavy character such as Charizard, but it happens when you're playing a character such as Fox who just has so many quick options. Oh, okay. Alrighty,
What an up air. What a call out from Mimic. You know, where does MBS find these people? Correction, how does MBS make these people? Because they are, like, this crew is one of the biggest in New Jersey, and somehow they just keep finding ways to make players really, really solid. And hey, an Ivy up air to instantly even up the game, and then locking in on Squirtle, so a nice switch in order to get out, but you're still in a rough spot here. Mimic gave himself a fighting chance, but needs to find his way onto the ground if he wants to take this game from being a lost cause to an absolute win.
Absolutely. I do. Oh, but that Fox up smash is going to be the name of game 2 from Yellow Salami. I do think that the Fox was a very solid option. However, I think we were seeing some shadows of Mimic finding some different adaptations for the character, and it's going to be exciting to see what he carries over into game 3.
Yeah, it's still locking in the Pokemon Trainer. I learned from chat that I just pulled up. So, hi, chat. I see you. The Mimic does not play Kazuya. So,
Oh,
our
that must
fault.
have been another Mimic.
Different Mimic. All the
All
same.
right.
It's okay. We're locked in on the PT, which is perfectly fine for Yellow because we're locking in the Fox under the guise, with the absolute certainty, rather, not under the guise, but knowing that he has a lot of matchup experience. He comes from PA, comes from Philly, and Philly has the best PT in Tri-State representing there in Beast. So plenty of matchup experience, but that doesn't mean that Mimik can't offer a little bit of a different wrinkle. And the proficiency at which Mimik plays Ivysaur specifically is certainly notable.
For sure, and I think you can see that right now in the way that Mimic is demonstrating his dominance, able to lose some of his get some damage right now. However, Mimic finding himself on the ground yet again right now as Charizard, looking for his openings, but Yellow Salami going to utilize Fox's quick advantage state, able to get so much damage right now. Oh, going for the up B call out of his life and not getting it. Yellow Salami, I know, is probably counting his lucky stars. Definitely not super lucky to be. Oh man, okay. There was the stock right there. That unpunished up B didn't really matter.
All right,
turns out.
This has been an insane Charizard. That's surviving that back air because Fox doesn't have enough rage. But we're watching this Charizard go for a lot of empty landings, prioritize a grab game first and foremost, and just be generally sticky. Like, there's not really any... It doesn't seem like there's a goal for Mimic to try and play like a landing nair game or landing fair game with the Charizard and try and outspace. It's purely built on like, I'm playing Charizard to go for a big finisher and nothing else, and then worry about the damage and the game state with the other two Pokemon. Squirtle kind of getting comboed to oblivion, but the Ivysaur quick switch in now has to try and get off ledge. But as I was said at the very start of the game number 2, Pokemon Trainer at ledge against Fox is a problem.
It is definitely interesting to see the way that Mimic is able to utilize actually the big heavy character versus Fox in order to challenge most of Yellow Salami's options. And that's not something that I would typically expect to see going for the heavy versus the tiny character, especially a tiny character who is so much faster than Charizard. But it looks like, okay, that switch there was pretty important right there from Mimic. Getting the Charizard. Okay. Yep.
And
that, yeah.
That Mimic's Charizard is looking for finishers. If you see the Charizard here, he's looking for finishers, and he's confident in holding Shield. An important step in learning the Fox matchup. Fox beats Shield in a lot of ways, not by grabbing you, really. You never have to be afraid of Fox just grabbing you at any percent, though the Fox has to do so. The up air finding its mark because of the displacement from other ways to beat Shield, which is just by pure Shield pressure. But now the Squirtle's locked in, not really in a position for Squirtle to be super successful since you're out of the low percent range, but Squirtle has a lot of utility in a lot of other ways. Oh no, the Shine Spike, but gets connected, has to switch over to the Charizard, can make it back, both players make it back, and that was a ton of damage for Yellow. I appreciate the Gambit, but oh man, was it dangerous. And speaking of Gambits, we are just letting we're letting raw DPs rip here, Pearl.
Oh my goodness. I mean, the two uppies that we've seen so far, however, but that is going to be the game right there for Mimic. It is absolutely wonderful to see someone who is going to continuously go for those risky options. I think it is especially beneficial for an opponent who may not expect the riskier options to be made, especially if they were not always successful. However, it is not the times that it doesn't work that matter. It is the times that they do work that matter. So hats off right there to Mimic. I think that is probably one of the best advantage states that I've seen from a Charizard, maybe ever.
It was definitely a way more patient of a Charizard advantage state than I've seen in a while, and it was heavily beneficial against Fox. I mean, the kind of idea that Fox needs to make a call out at some point, especially off of those mid to late percent dash attacks or those mid to late percent like rising aerials. Sometimes Fox needs to make a big call out. So since Mimic was absolutely representing the Hail Mary option repeatedly without fear, no questions asked, that's really scary for Fox to press into, especially at those high percents, especially at those extreme percents even. So the fact that Mimic was able to represent the Hail Marys that let him play and that let him get to the ground a lot more seamlessly and with a lot less interruption than previously able, and other Charizards might not be able to if you're not willing to represent those options. And thus, if you can get to the ground, and then you can get your shield up, and if you can get your shield up, then you can start representing the Hail Marys again. And it's just seemingly made Yellow afraid to press into Mimic even a little bit in those clutch moments. And all you need is one opportunity as Charizard in order to find a grab or an up throw or an up smash or an up beat, but just some sort of big out of shield option that takes the cake. And you know what? Shout outs to Mimic. He gets a PR win. MBS gets another member on the map. And New Jersey Unranked continues its just sheer dominance of being the best unranked players in the region.
Absolutely. And hats off to Mimic for utilizing the heavier character versus a character such as Fox. As you said, Fox doesn't get a whole lot off of his grabs, and especially going for the heaviest character in Pokemon Trainer's arsenal, I think that he knew that in most trades, Yellow Salami would not be getting the best side of them, especially against such a heavy character like Charizard. With the early kill percentage that he has, or with the early kill options, and especially with those Hail Marys that Mimic was able to utilize to his advantage, it was just awesome stuff to see. The character knowledge, the matchup knowledge, and just like the sheer bravery, maybe insanity,
Yeah.
in order to go for a lot of those options.
I always like the word gumption. I think gumption is a really nice one when it comes to just, hey, you hit me with a dash attack at 50. Yeah, you know I'm mashing up B there. It's like, all right, you got it, boss. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think there are so many like ways to describe the different play styles of characters. However, I do think that what we saw today was just like a very almost kamikaze like play style.
it was measured.
The game is
It was measured.
was
I wouldn't
it
call
was
it. I wouldn't call it kamikazes, but it was absolutely risk taking.
it was for sure. Although I do think